Well, today we're going to just use a few of those florals that I showed you in that floral haul the other day, and we are going to fill some pots with them. Stay tuned and see how fun and easy this project is. Alright, so the first step I went to for this project is I went through my stash of plant pots to see what I had. So let me show you what I pulled out. I want to do a variety so you guys can see that you can use a variety of different things. Now these are some that we made on the channel. Made both of these a while back. Those are both made of polymer clay, as is this little guy. And I believe it was the same video, it's the same process, it's just a different size. So we're going to probably use both of those. We've got this little box that hangs on the porch rail. We're going to try and fill that. And then I have some that I painted. I have this wooden pot. I decided there was no reason to paint these on camera because we've painted different kinds of materials before on the channel. This is just one of those wooden pots that you get at the craft store with the wooden shapes. Then I have these two. These were from some of my blind bag stash, and I painted those. Now the color I used for both of these, this pot and the rim on these is Anita's in butternut or buttered yam, and then for the bottom part of this is the same paint mixed with white, just about equal colors, equal amounts of each color. And to paint these, they were plastic. So I wiped them down with isopropyl alcohol, let that dry, and then just painted them with craft paint. So the other thing we need, we're going to need some glue, and we need some foam of some kind. And I picked this up at the dollar store. I was getting low on foam, and I wanted something that hopefully won't get all over everything. This was over in the floral area. So I'm going to turn the camera off and cut some pieces that will fit in these different pots, and then when I get that done, I'll come back and we'll put them in. Alright, I have a piece of foam cut for each piece, and then I took the rest of the foam block and all the scraps and put it in a Ziploc bag. That way it will be contained in my craft room and not get all over the house. So cut these so that they'll fit in easily and so that they're a little shorter than the opening of your plant pot. And then get some glue inside the box, inside of each pot, and put them in there. And you want a little bit of space at the top. You want it to be fairly firm. If you are concerned that your plant pot is going to be too lightweight, you could put some kind of weights in the bottom, like maybe some BBs or something like that, to give you a little weight at the bottom, but I don't think that will be important in any of the ones I'm doing. But I am going to go ahead and get the rest of these pieces glued in, and I want this glue to set up for a little bit before I come back and paint the tops of the foam, because I want the glue to be able to breathe, to dry better. It has a little bit of air around each piece of foam, just a little bit, so it will help it to dry a little faster. I do want this glue to be dry before we start putting the plants in, because I don't want to pull it away from the sides of the pot. So when these are dry, I'll come back and we can start painting the top. Alright, I have foam in all of my containers and they are all dry. The glue on them has dried actually overnight. So now I've got just a little bit of dark brown paint. I'm just using this one because it's what I grabbed. Any dark brown paint. We want to cover the green up. I won't make you watch me do all of this, but basically all we want to do is give that green foam a coat of brown paint so that it doesn't show as much underneath our potting soil that we're going to use in our next step. So that's all there is to it. I'm using a relatively small kind of stiff brush to do this. I'll do one more on camera. Just kind of go around the outside so that you don't get too much brown paint onto your pot. But you've seen me do this several times. If you do get some, it's okay. Even if it stays on there, it's okay because the soil gets up on the edges. So I'm going to turn the camera off. I'm going to finish painting these and let this paint dry because this also needs to dry completely before our next step. So when this is all painted and the paint is dry, I'll come back and we can start assembling our pots of plants. All right, that brown paint is completely dry and we're ready to move on to putting the dirt in the pots or the soil or whatever you want to refer to it as well as putting some plants in. So I'm going to put away all but the one I'm going to be using. I'm going to use one of these little ones because I've been kind of looking forward to this. The plant materials that I'm going to use are the ones that I showed you in the haul video last week. The only addition is I did pick up this stem of what they called onion grass. And I had meant to pick this up before when I picked the others up and I'd forgotten it. I happened to see it when I went to the store another time, so I grabbed it. And I'm going to cut off a stem of that. I'm also going to cut off one of these purple pieces. And I'm just using my scissors, but I do want to point out that I also have a pair of wire cutters, just in case part of what I need to cut happens to be wire and not just the lightweight stuff. So for our soil, we're going to use what I always use, and that is dried coffee grounds. These are coffee grounds that have gone through my coffee maker. I've made coffee with them. I've taken the used grounds, and I have thoroughly dried them. And I mean thoroughly. I put them in a pie plate, and I put them in a low oven for a couple of hours during the day. Usually I do this on a day I'm baking clay, because my oven's on for several hours at about 250 or so degrees, and that's perfect for drying these out. As long as they are used grounds and they are thoroughly dried, I have never had an issue with any molding or any problems using them. When I haven't followed those rules, that's when I have issues. So I am going to put a little bit of tacky glue. Now, one pot at a time. Don't go through and coat all your pots and then come back and try to put the plants in, because once this glue dries, it would be very difficult to get your plants into the foam again. So I'm going to use a toothpick and spread my glue over that foam. This is why we painted the top of the foam with the brown paint, so it will blend in with our soil and not look that way. If the soil doesn't cover completely, it won't matter, because we don't want a huge thick layer. I am going all the way to the edges, kind of filling in so that the coffee grounds will kind of fill in that gap. And if you're not trying to stay under camera, you can probably do a much better job at home than I do on video. A little more glue. I think I'm going to put glue over here on my tray out of the way and pick it up, because I would like to get that's better. All right. I'm working in the lid so that I can just put the excess grounds back in the jar. And it's okay if you see some glue, that's fine. Now I've got this little purple piece. Now hopefully I can do this on camera and have you see it, and I can still have it where I can see it. I'm hoping these tweezers are going to work. Might have to make a hole with the toothpick. We've got our flower in there, and now I'm going to put, I think, yeah, I want some of these. These I might have to put in off camera because I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do these where I can have them where I can see them and you guys can see them. Let's see if I can. I will try. If not, I will have to come back and do them off and show you after I get them in. I should have some glue out. The glue on the top is helping to hold the pieces in. Let's see if I can hold these in my fingers or not. And then I'm going to come back after the glue dries and kind of make a point up on the tops of some of these. This would be better with a wider leaf, but I don't have anything quite like what I wanted for this. Well, I will go ahead and put a few more leaves in here off camera, and then when this glue dries, I'll come back and we'll look at this, and then we can start making another plant. All right, the glue holding this together has had overnight to dry, and I've got some small scissors. I wanted my regular small scissors, but I couldn't find them this morning. And these are not the best for, my hands are going to shake this morning. I'm going to turn the camera off. I'm going to trim this up to points on each one because I need to get it closer to my face to see it better. When I get it trimmed, I'll come back and show you how it looks. All right, that looks quite a bit better. I trimmed them kind of short, and more leaves would have probably been better, but I was kind of in a hurry when I did this, as you may recall. I'm not sure if I mentioned it or not. But I love how that came out. Let's do a couple more pots on camera today, and then I'm going to do some of them off camera. All right, now I have, so our soil is all in there, just like on the last one. I have this, I pulled this off of here. I'm just going to put that over here at the side. I am going to, see, this is just plastic up here, so it's not wire. If it was wire, I'd use my wire cutters. Be very careful about things like that. I think I am going to add a little bit of this too. I'm going to pull two of these off. And I want some of this purple stuff. This one, I know there are some wires. Is this plastic? Yeah, that's plastic. Okay. Off to the side, and let's see what we've got room for. I'm going to start with a piece of this, and I'm going to kind of pull this apart, kind of pull pieces down, and cut off a piece. I think I'm going to start with that kind of in the middle. And I'm going to have to cut because I want a stem that I can poke in a ways. Let's see if I can get that part in. And let's take a piece of this purple. I want this to be a pot, like a mixed planter, like you might put on your porch. And I need a clean toothpick. I am very disorganized this morning. Okay. Put those in. What have I got? Okay. Yeah, it's going to be one of those days. I really want to do this one on camera, but I don't know that that's going to happen here. I'm going to turn the camera off. I'm going to get stuff in here and then I'll come back. All right, we have that little pot of flowers. I'm sorry I couldn't do it on camera. I had to get it up closer to my face where I could actually see what I was doing. But I love how that came out. I'm going to get together stuff to do another one and I'll be back and we'll do at least part of it on camera. All right, this over the rail planter, I'm going to keep kind of simple. I've got 3 pieces of this stuff here. This was the tops of these. And I've got some glue off camera here. I'm going to dip this in. I don't know what these plants would be. I have no idea. You can use your imagination. You can make yours filled with plants that look like real plants or just whatever you want. The idea here is we're just adding some spring greenery and floral to the dollhouse just to give it a little life. Shove that one in there. If you need to, you can poke a hole with a toothpick. If not, you can just glue it in. You're going to need a hole. I think I need to cut the leaves off. The bottom leaves. That way it could go in further. Yep, go back in there. There. And then these guys can just kind of rest here on the front, on the ends. And I think that's all I'm going to get done today. I'll let the glue dry on these and I will come back and we can look at them after the glue dries where I can kind of hold them up where you can see them better. I may do a couple off camera here, I don't know in the meantime, but I'll talk to you more about that once this glue is dry. All right, my glue is completely dry now. I love especially how this one came out. Really cool. And this one is really cute too. I might add more later, I'll see. And then there's this one, which I love all of them. There will be photos on the blog post. Stuff has come up. I'm not going to be able to do any more today. And I got to get this up because I'm actually filming this on Saturday afternoon. And this has to be, I don't want this up on YouTube tomorrow morning. So I need to finish up and get this video edited and uploaded. As I work with more of the floral stems that I bought and I get the other pots filled, I will be putting pictures up on the Facebook group. So if you're not already a member of that, be sure and follow the link either in the description box below or on the blog post and join the Facebook group so you can keep track of the pictures there. And in the meantime, thank you very much for watching today. Oh, be sure and check the blog post anyway for photos of today's stuff. But thank you very much for watching today. If you haven't subscribed and you enjoy my content, hit that subscription button and the notification bell so you know when I put up a new video. And I will talk to you next time. Bye.